Alright, so now it's time for the Wii version of the same thing, so let's get back into it immediately. The data has been saved successfully, which is a good thing, because otherwise it would have been saved unsuccessfully, and that's bad. So, we've got to infiltrate the weapons facility, gather intel for MI6 analysis, and download the trade manifests. Or alternatively, finish the level, use a thing on 3 things, and use the same thing on 1 thing. These level objectives aren't really very good, are they? And it actually varies as to which difficulty level appears to be canon, as it were. Sometimes it's the highest, sometimes it's the lowest, and it doesn't really make any sense which is which. In this one, it appears to be the lowest difficulty, because one of those photographs doesn't make any sense.
I've got you, Alec.
Now, it actually does make some kind of sense that he's using this here, because as you can see, you can't see your hand in front of your face in this level in the Wii version. It's ridiculously dark. And also those pools appear to have become radioactive. Here is your handheld Geiger counter in order to predict that. Over there is Oblivion, where we came from, and...
I'll take the fuel tanks.
I'll get the weapons cache.
No, I'm going to get the weapons, and don't call me Cash. Now we're going to banish him up here onto his pipework where he lives, the commie. I don't really know why he's Russian in this version, being as they've sort of outruled anything regarding him being Alliance Cossack, which was, of course, the whole point of him being Russian before. This is supposed to be because of an incredibly clever idea the writer had, because he noted that he would be 70 years old if he were still the son of Alliance Cossack from World War II. The main problem with that is that all you have to do there is add the word grand in front of son, and you've explained the whole thing, because he could just be the bitter grandson of that man instead. Instead, we have something much worse and much stupider, and it's basically so that the writer can whinge about the banks, as if every other video game writer hasn't done that already. So that will be glorious and fun, I'm sure. But anyway, let's find out how Daniel Craig enters the facility in the proper way, because we saw it in the silly way before. So he's going to lurgle his way down here using his QTE, once again finding this man going to the toilet with his trousers on, which is not how you do it. So this is the correct way to enter the facility. You get knocked on your ass, and then you get shot a few times. So there we go, that's him defeated. And you might say, but Tim, you might say, that's not the sensible way to enter the facility, there's another way. Alright, I suppose I can show you the proper way if you do the QTE right. This is what it looks like.
Hey, you missed, pal.
That is how Daniel Craig enters the facility. My god, these mirrors work. There we are. It's a chimpanzee. No, it's Daniel Craig. Look at his horrendous visage. Now, Daniel Craig has a strange way of getting hold of weapons. Apparently, he can aim down the sights, but he can also get weapons by banishing that one into his armpit and withdrawing this one from his other armpit. Yes, he banishes the AK under that arm, but every other weapon he gets from under this arm. He has pocket dimensions in his underpants, but that's not where he's getting them from, you see. So he can smash that, which turns it into a funhouse mirror and makes Daniel Craig's visage even more hideous. You can see the slide doesn't cycle in third person, which is silly. So we can see there, he is all warpedy. And I'm going to spend entirely too long looking at this, because here you can see, if you look carefully, that the ridiculously large hole on the end of the suppressor again. But we've already demonstrated that, Daniel Craig. Stop looking at that mirror, you ugly, hideous example of humanity. And now we'll go through here. Once again, Goldeneye will end after we have reloaded our Tokarev. So this guy here, as we said, is not going to be complaining about his job. He is a happy fellow. Thusly, when we lug him in the back of the head, he will be unhappy, and we will have increased the amount of badness in the world. That's not what you should do at Christmas, Daniel Craig. You're a baddie. So we're going to try and sight up a guy here, but I'm going to mess it up. Once again, they're milking the giant cow here. That guy up there is who I was going to target this time, but he spots me, the baddie. I don't really know how. I wasn't particularly exposed, but I thought I had him in the head, but I didn't, because the iron sights in this game are terrible and too large. So we have alerted the men. Now a couple of men with bad guy voices are going to come up here, and we're going to have a bit of a fight on our hands. You, sir, you have been on my hands for far too long. So that guy's going to run over there, and I think he's going to vanish, because I haven't seen him before. You, sir, I'm going to shoot you a few times, but your bulletproof vest will protect you, but it doesn't protect you from being punched in the face. That's my trick, and I am going to stand by it forever. So yes, I would say that this was just showing off what it's like if you're in combat, and the fact that it isn't really any more difficult, but I'm just going to chalk this up to ranking competence and the fact that I was a bit tired when I did this run. We don't die, and that's the important thing, so we're going to gun all of these men down and reload all of our weapons in blur-o-vision. Our health is restored, and now we're ready once again to get past all this glowing stuff. You, sir, stop making weird noises behind me. That's not allowed at all. Yeah, so there's even more future in this room this time around. I guess they can't really decide if this is going to be a futuristic level or a sort of Soviet-y level. My god, my eye has actuated itself in a very thorough fashion. That guy's going to athletic his way into cover, and if only I had a grenade I could defeat him easily, but I don't. Daniel Craig forgot to pack those because he was too busy packing bananas. That's no good at all. He should have thought about the effects of his ways upon the world. So we'll load that back up again, and we'll see if we can find the last couple of guys. I thought there was a guy there, that guy who rolled back there, but he has gone. He has exited this realm and has gone over here, maybe. Yeah, it might be him, it might be something else. Here we go. Here are the controls to that thing, which are once again slightly higher tech level than it. Maybe the elves came along from space in order to activate that, and we'll pick that up. If you fire the thing here too near to the wall, you'll actually get, you'll actually cause an alert in this room. It's one of the few cases of things bleeding over from one room to another. We're just going to go in there for a minute, and you will see on the wall here, I guess the Soviet Union, the fall of communism did not actually cause the fall of communism, because you've got the old hammer and sickle there. That gets much, much sillier later on in this version. It gets a bit sillier later on in the other version, but not as much so. That man there is using commie windows, which is not on because it doesn't have any windows in it. I guess they couldn't afford them or something. Anyway, in this one, this is one of the few cases of the Wii version having a better weapon in one of these than in Reloaded. You get an AK with a reflex sight. It's called a Cobra reflex sight. It's a real one for the AK, but it's not attached properly because it should have a bracket rather than just being attached to the top of the dust cover, you see. That's unhygienic putting it there. So let's move on through here where this thing has fewer bars because Nintendo does not allow alcohol in their games, so we'll put that over there. That's where it lives, you see, and then we can go into here and once again press this thing down upon the carpet where it will stay forever, my boy. There. Okay, so once again, this guy's wanking around with his computer, and that's not on, but this time we can shoot that thing and be safe. But we'll shoot this guy and not be safe because our iron sights are bloody useless, so they'll have to gun him down with multiple bullets instead. Alright, so once again, this guy has a spare monitor there, not as many though. He was not working with the same kind of budgetary as in Reloaded. There's actually the event cover there, which isn't in Reloaded, which I guess they only took it off here, and in Reloaded it doesn't have a cover. That's just how the things work, you see. So they're going to go off on their 12-hour death duty, and this camera here is going to be enucleated. I suppose the guy who's watching these on the security monitors doesn't notice they're all going out one by one. That guy's going to try and wrestle with that machine over there. We'll see that in a minute, but we'll shoot this guy first, otherwise he would detect us seeing this man. You, sir, you can't fight that machine. It's full of vice. That's not what the Soviet way at all. So he dies a well-deserved death, and then we can go over here and take a photograph of this thing again. There it is. So as before, it's the boss fight, and it's the thing down there on the floor in front of us. So we can email that off to the future, where they will find out that that is a thing. Soon England will be full of those strange tools, and they will use them for whatever they're for. So there's AKs in there, but we don't want an AK because we've already got one, and it's fine, I tell you. It's absolutely fine. So instead we're going to snurk through this vent again and find our way into that room, where we will once again mess up our stealth and have to fight everybody, which is good in a way because that's what these games are about. So 006 is not going to break radio silence this time. We're just going to have to make our way into the strange glowing server room where they are pumping sewage through the dam. I don't really know how they are managing to pollute it so fast. I guess in this version you have Oromov being an outright Captain Planet villain or something. He's just pumping pollutants into the nice clean water. So our PSP is communicating with us, so we'll have to take a photograph of something or possibly access it, or one of the many other things which all look exactly the same. So again, we have to shoot him hands-free because otherwise we would bob up in a silly manner, and once again that guy there, he has even less to live for because he doesn't have his scissor lift, so his death has been visited upon him. So I'm going to try and get this guy, but I got him in the shoulder. That wasn't right, so we have to shoot this instead. If you get it right, if you actually go down there and get the guys to walk together, you can get them all at once, but I didn't do that because that takes too much time, and I wanted to have a fight with them instead, my boy. So we'll drop down in here and get the Wi-Fi node message, because it's not like we've already done it after all. Let's reload that. This is kind of useless, the Cobra reflex sight, and I'll show you why in a minute, but firstly we can go over here and look, we are winning at Clax. That is a Tetris clone for all of you who do not know your Tetris clones. Alright, so we'll go through here, or possibly a columns clone, who knows. So we got a bunch of guys down there talking like Satan, so we're going to have to take all of them out at once using our powers. So you can see here, he doesn't really believe in controlling the recoil, so it sort of recoils up and to the left in a really silly manner that makes it hard to use for anything at all. This is the only one of the Wii's unique reflex sights which survives in the other version. You'll be seeing it later, but it's not in this level in that version, so you won't be seeing it now. That would be silly, that would be premature, and if there is one thing we don't do around here, it's prematurity, or maturity of any kind. There's one last guy down there, he's trying to shoot us, but that's bad of him, so I'm going to try and shoot him, but I'm going to fail at it, and instead I'm going to locate the barrel next to him, because it is an easier target. He is sent flying into the distance, into his own realm where he is known for living, and that is where he stays. He has vanished now. We'll never have to deal with the likes of him again, except all of the other ones who are very much like him. So we will. Anyway, so we're going to have a quick look at the sewage down there, and then we will proceed onwards past the rubbish low frames per second water, and we'll take care of the security camera up here, which is red. It's full of communism, you see. There we go, we'll defeat that, and then communism will finally start to exit Russia after having apparently forgotten to do it in this game's universe. So now we cross over here again, because James Bond will be damned if he can climb up a 1 foot tall gap and over a fence or anything like that. That would be silly. So through the vents, because nothing can prevent us, and through again. This is fascinating gameplay device, but they've actually taken one of the vent covers off here. My word, they're trying to let us take the shortcut or something. So we're going to go through here, and this man here is fiddling with a computer, which is bad of him. So we'll take care of him and his security camera, but then I'll get over ambitious and try and take care of his friend, but I missed, my god. So he's surprised by that wall over there, but then he realizes that wall over there is not his enemy. Daniel Craig is, because Daniel Craig is everyone's enemy. And soon enough, they will realize that they have grenades, and even though I don't, it's kind of mean that you're the only person in the world who doesn't have nades in this game. Okay, so he can go away, he can get in front of me, Satan, because that's where it's a good place to have him, but they're going to throw a grenade at me. I can't throw it back because I don't have a button to do that, and I've resolved to never do it anyway. And you have to break all of this inexplicably tough glass. The glass actually takes several shots here for some reason in this version, and there's another grenade there. I guess that Daniel Craig is just popular with the grenades. There is only fans or something like that. So, there's a guy over there and there's a guy over there. We'll deal with both of them, and then we can carry on into this game's world, and we can see a ridiculously fast breaching sequence. I am going to demonstrate here just how fast you can fire the PP game breaching, because it's actually, I think it's even faster than you can fire it normally, which is already fairly quick. So I'm going to sneak up behind you, and I'm going to punch you with the end of my gun, I am. And I actually broke the server next to him as well. As one of the things in the Wii version, you can actually, as I think I said in the previous video, you can smash all kinds of things in the Wii version. If I'd actually been standing any closer to that, I'd probably have killed myself, but you can smash servers and mainframes and things like that, which is very useful. And there's one particular objective that makes it laughably easy. So let's take care of these incredibly tough glass panels in order to look in here and see that there is no secret weapon in here this time. It has forgotten to be here. So we're going to have to make our way upstairs into Masterful Engineering, where we can find the Masterful Engineer. The thing you'll notice in this game is that, despite the fact that those two guys on the dam spoke in Russian, no one else in the entire game speaks in Russian, even though you're supposed to be in Russia still. So what, are they all speaking in English? I mean, you would think that, wow, that's a tough grating they have there, I tell you. So, you know, you would think that if they were supposed to all be speaking in Russian, Daniel Craig would be speaking in with a Russian accent to denote he too is speaking in Russian, but he doesn't, so I guess they all speak English. So we're going to breach that, and then we are going to use our incredibly fast gun on these two men here. And we're going to go over there. Sadly, in this one, we don't have any control over our suppressor at all, so let's grab this man here. You, sir, I don't have any control over my suppressor, so you better key in those codes or it might end up your bum. I have no idea. I have no idea about that or anything else, Mr. Uglyington. He is so... Look at how horribly greasy he is. He's clearly part of some sort of Russian experiment to see if a man can generate crude oil, and it seems successful. Stop typing with one finger, you silly boy. No, I love you. Yes, you can just stand here forever just staring at him, but I don't want to do that. It's not right. It's not hygienic, you see. Okay, so we've released Trevelyan from the side effects of his own crapness, and here we get the suppressed Tylan HL450. This is a Heckler & Koch SL8, and look at how ridiculously large it is. I've seen comedy rocket launchers in sci-fi FPSs that are smaller than that. They only give you 10 rounds for it as well. You can see, like with the SVD in the previous level, the suppressor actually replaces the end of the barrel. You'll be seeing that for quite a lot of the things. Let's put this back on here again because we need it. And then, inexplicably, this is the time I'm not going to break stealth. When I'm around trying to snipe everyone in this room with the pistol. It's like the only time in the level I manage it, and the time I screwed up in the other video. Though I'll take care of this guy, he almost detects us, but he doesn't in the end, because I was too quick for him, I was too fast for his ways. Once again, they have flashlights on their guns, even though we can't do that, because they have dynamic powers of gravy. They've used it in all of the ways that they're prone to doing. So he's going to walk down there trying to menace that crate, but that crate is not up to it. It's not up to his challenge, but I am. So he will, later on, that will be blamed on the crate. He will be the first Russian who died of cratitude. Incidentally, even if they were on the last guy in the room, if you get that thing to run out, he will still set off the alarm by himself. And Satans will come and will try to thwart you. So given my propensities for screwing up here, I'm going to be getting rid of this gun, and I'm going to be getting in an over DB3, because in this game it's really good, so that's good as well. I'll be showing off the burst fire mode of it later, because I want to use these selectable fire modes. I want to encourage such things in video games, because they're always good for a laugh, you see. So we're back into these rooms, which are filled with darkness and spiders, so we'll have to get through them quickly. Now we have to rendez voz with Agent 006, so we'll do that as quickly as we possibly can. He's not going to contact us, I don't think. No, he isn't. He doesn't tell us about the atrium this time, so we don't know what this room is called. My god. What will we do without that knowledge?
I'm in position above you. You go first. I'll cover you.
Okay, so the thing he's got there on his back actually isn't this gun. It's a thing called a Gambit CP208, which is an Accuracy International Arctic Warfare Police, I believe. We'll be seeing that later on, much later on, but we won't be seeing it now because he's still useless with it, even though I actually do screw up rather badly here. He still doesn't fire any shots. You have to be both really slow and really useless to actually see him fire that thing. And I am at least one of those things not. So you, sir, I'm going to have to defeat you, but I'm going to do it too slowly, and these guys are going to all shoot at me for it. So we're going to have to pull back, and we're going to have to deal with them using violence rather than stealth. Well, stealth is still violent, I suppose, so it's all pretty consistent when it all comes down to it. So we'll load that back up, and in a minute I'll be showing you the 3-round burst mode, which basically is the equivalent of firing 1 round. It's just, it kills them a lot quicker. It hugely increases the accuracy of the gun, so I don't know what that is, I really don't. Now you have the atrocious water flowing around down there, as you'll see if you look at the earlier parts of the video especially. Someone's got a hell of a throwing arm on them, good lord. He should be doing shot putting for his country rather than throwing grenades at me. That would also give him a longer survival strategy, but he didn't think of that, and so he will have to be iced along with the rest of them, my boy. I didn't even know there was an exploding barrel there, but it turned out there was, so I can act like it was some kind of plan of mine. Right, so that guy's going to run over there. That is not going to be any more successful for him than it was the previous guy who ran over there. They should really not be doing this running into the exact same place thing. I don't think it's the wisest plot they've ever had. So he's going to go in there, and then the door will close upon him. It will close upon his life, the story of his being. Meanwhile, the PSP has appeared again. It's asking us to buy. Maybe it's a Wii U controller. Maybe they're trying to advertise preemptively. That is Nintendo's plan, you see. So there's a G36 there. We can pick that up. But over here is an even better thing. There's a G36 and ACOG scope. So let's go and pick that up because we want that. We will be using it extensively during the last area of the level because I'm going to screw it up. However, this AK wants us to have it instead, so we're going to have to move it over here. We're going to have to maneuverize it. Look at how silly that texture is down there. It's moving at like 10 frames per second. It's rubbish. There we go up there, except we're not going to. This is actually the same reticle as on the ACOG scope in Crisis. It's just a little bit blockier, you see. I don't know why they did that, and I don't think they do either. So let's put that in. Oh, I don't want you, silly giant gun. You can go over there. I'm actually saving this for the last room, even though I screwed that up almost immediately. It was kind of a waste in the end. You, sir, you're kind of a waste too, and you are kind of a head and body as well. So that's you thwarted, and that's him out the way. And I guess the guy operating those security cameras, the mysterious man, who we may be meeting later on, who knows, doesn't really care about watching his fellow co-workers die. Perhaps he is against them too. You, I'm going to point my Pokeball at you, you strange contraption, which we will definitely not be seeing later. We've gathered 2 pieces of intel for MI6 analysis. I don't really think they're going to have to analyze this very much. It's all kind of self-evident when you think about it. But I suppose they know what they're doing, because I sure as hell don't. So let's go through this door here. That's odd. I know what I'm doing, that at least. Anyway, there's a little difference in the Wii version and the other version here is that this thing has a transparent window in it. I guess they couldn't do that either in the Call of Duty engine. I don't really know why that is. That doesn't make any sense. You, sir, you don't make any sense either. I'm going to plug you in your skull. So I'm going to deal with that over there, and then we've got a little friend here. We'll see what that's all about later. That fire extinguisher seems to be strategically placed. It seems a little out of place, in fact. You can see all these friendly blips around here. These are actually the scientists who are working in those rooms. I guess they removed them just because they're very confusing. There is a friendly thing over here. You see that fire extinguisher is a British agent. He is a true hero. He is going to sacrifice himself so that others may live, namely us. It wasn't a very good sacrifice because we're Daniel Craig, you see. So it thwarted them with its gases. I guess the fire extinguisher is the most dangerous weapon in the universe in this world. And now we'll go in here where there is a bit of a difference here too. So if we go over here and we press the button, the door opens. Actually, if we press it here, the door opens instantaneously, allowing us to go into the gas-filled room and find out the gas wasn't dangerous after all. There are gas mask icons there. I guess it just leaked or something, but it wasn't the dangerous gas. So there's the EMP radial thing, which at this time actually belongs here. We'll send that off, even though we shouldn't have it yet, and it will disappear from existence. I don't know what they're doing in this facility. I mean, it doesn't really make any sense when you think about it. Why are they researching stuff inside a dam? What is Armor researching? He's an arms smuggler, not an arms maker. That's just silly. So there's a there is a no photography thing there. I guess it doesn't include smartphones, otherwise we'd be breaking the rules, and James doesn't do that.
Find a way to get the scientists out of the
Maybe you
room.
could find something good to hide behind it. Yes, yeah, you can see the friendly thing if you look at them through the glass, even though you can't hit them through the glass. I guess that's in case we find some sort of Daniel Craig railgun or something to defeat them with. That's not in this game, because that would be awesome, and this game is anything but. So you guys, you can all bugger off out of this game. I found the escape route. Soon we won't be here anymore. We can be in a good game. No, I don't want to be trapped in this game. This game is bad. We'll look away from him. He won't see 006's violence this time. It's too powerful for you. It's 18G rated
Well, this
McThing.
is certainly proving easier than our last excursion.
We don't talk about our last excursion, not after the thing that my doctor prescribed me. Oh. Okay, so he's opened the door now. Everyone's going to vanish from there because they're not needed anymore in this universe we call Earth. So let's dodge down here, and you can see the strange reflections here that don't quite match up to the things above them. That doesn't really make any sense. That's not how we roll around here, 006. Get us out of here quickly, you foolish fellow. We can't be here a minute longer, except we can.
I'll meet you at the fuel tanks.
Yeah, what, you don't have any more loading pauses to conceal? I don't believe that for 1 second, so I had to wait for the airlock to close and desalinize us. And then this guy's going to try to go over here, but we know better than him. You, sir, go down there. You don't have a real arm. Look, you see, it faded out before the rest of him. It was fake. It was made of wood and sellotapes. There's no warning about that, but the text scrolls, so maybe it doesn't need a warning. Maybe that's less dangerous when it moves around like that. Meanwhile, Trevelyan, he is here. He's in the ring. Oh my God. Trevelyan, he's got the steel chair. This is brutal. There we go. And now he's got that guy. He's got him in the arm hold thing. And now he's going to subject him to dreaded sodomy. He's being gentle, but that guy's calling him a big girl's blouse for that because he likes it rough. And Trevelyan is going to belatedly do it rough, but that guy is not really impressed by that, and he's away. Everything vanishes because it's not important, and now it's time to screw up stealth, my boy. So he's going to carry on there. He's typing away at the nothing there, which is an important activity for him to contrige himself to. So let's go down here and immediately mess up stealth, because I saved this just for that purpose. You, sir, go away. So I'm going to do that, take care of the security camera, but there was a man there, and he saw that man collapsing before he vanished. And that's the only time it's important to keep stealth, you see. So now they turn on their silly alarm, and we'll have to get out our G36 and start blastinizing them. Because that's why we kept a hold of this thing, you see. I mean, it's not really a problem if you break stealth, because it's not like the Satans have that much more health than the regular guys do. So we just had, and you can bust out your good weapons for them too. The only real problem is you start getting grenades thrown at you, and they can huck them colossal distances because they are bums. And if you have ever seen a tramp in the street, you will know that he can throw grenades an enormous distance, you see. That's a fact of life. So over there is an effective gentleman who is trying to shoot at us, but there is a grenade over here somewhere, and as you can see, Trevelyan has apparently managed to sneak out in the interval. I guess he went back through that door that he came in through or something. Yeah, he just kind of teleports ahead of us. It doesn't really make any sense as to how he manages to get himself knipjured. They don't even do the whole, like, half of everything is luck and the other half fate thing in this one. You know, it's a catchphrase. They don't do the I've set the timers thing either. So really, they've kind of got rid of absolutely every piece of important character development between the two characters. And yet this is still called Goldeneye. It doesn't make any sense, my boy, and don't try to make it make any sense. So, there's one last red thing there. We'll deal with that, and the blue is now even bluer. It's sort of aquamarine colour. My god, he's trying to harness aquamarina. Troy Tempest will have a few things to say about that, my boy, even if we don't. So, we'll deal with this for him. We will do an activity on his behalf. Go away, security camera. You can't see what we're about to do because it's silly. Now here, these are yellow rather than red, you see, because yellow takes less technology or something. I don't know what that's all about. Do we have to go around here placing bombs upon the fuel tanks? Why are there fuel tanks down here anyways? Like the runway's way up on the top, and you would think the fuel tanks would be near the runway. Maybe they are fuel for other things. Maybe they are fuel for aircraft carriers or dinosaurs or something. I have no idea at all. It's almost like this game is really badly written or something, but that couldn't be true because it's written by a screenplay McWriter or something, who only wrote some of the worst Bond films that you have ever seen in your entire life, and one of the most forgettable ones. And let's face it, who does remember, I don't remember what the thing's called, for crying out loud. So let's run up here and hear Daniel Craig trying to figure out where Trevelyan is.
Alec? Alec?
Alec, did you disappear from a room with only one open entrance? You naughty, terrible man, you. Yes, he did. So let's go through here and witness once again the failures to act. You notice that our suppressors disappeared. I'm not really sure why that happened.
Throw down your weapon, and I'll let you leave. Don't do it, James.
You know, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound particularly believable, my boy.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Go down there.
Hold your fire. You'll kill all of us.
Yeah, one of the things about this sequence in the movie is it takes a really long time, so it makes sense that the soldiers get jumpy, whereas here it's just like this guy's apparently suicidal.
10.
And also, he's got plenty of soldiers. He could just walk over here and flank us, you know. It's not like Bond's threatening to do anything.
7, 6, 5.
3, 8.
Finish the job, James. Blow him to hell.
Yeah, okay, just tell him about the charges we said. That makes sense.
3.
Okay, so the silly music starts up. James throws his gun away because it's not like he has two others.
Too late.
Okay, watch out for the huge blood splat here. There we go. So, yeah, that's eminently survivable, as is this entire facility blowing up.
Now it's your turn.
He still has a faulty sense of self. So anyway, so we solved the QTE here, which immediately blows up the bombs rather than making us wait. That just sends an explosion through there, even though we're going to see that the entire airfield is exploding later, and they just kind of crawl around. So that has been that, and I have been Evil Tim. Goodbye. You will all have a happy Christmas and stuff.